When you reach 60 and beyond, who will genuinely stand by your side? In your younger years, the answer might appear evident. Your relatives, your dearest companions, the individuals you've known for decades. However, once you pass 60, reality begins to look somewhat different. Life evolves, people become occupied, priorities shift, and suddenly you recognize that the support system you always trusted might not be as dependable as you once believed. In this video, we're going to reveal 6 crucial foundations that become more reliable than kin as you mature. This isn't about alienating people. It's about comprehending the source of true stability and ensuring you're not left exposed when you require assistance most. When you construct a robust bedrock founded on these 6 pillars, you gain the security and autonomy that will sustain you through life's adversities. Remain attentive until the conclusion, because these 6 pillars may completely transform your perception of assistance, and once you grasp them, by the end, you'll never again feel impotent, solitary, or unprepared. Now let's commence. Pillar 1. Your fiscal stability. The most steadfast support you'll ever possess isn't a person, it's your financial independence. Money may not procure happiness, but it does secure safety, liberty, and serenity. The older you become, the more you realize that relying on family for monetary aid is not a strategy, it's a gamble. Your offspring have their own existences, their own expenditures, and their own households to attend to. Even if they deeply cherish you, they may not always be in a position to assist when you need it most. Consider Richard, a 72-year-old gentleman who always presumed his progeny would intercede if he ever encountered monetary difficulties. He had assisted them through university, loaned them funds when needed, and was consistently available when they called. But when an unforeseen medical situation depleted his savings, he sought help from his children, only to discover that they were contending with their own mortgages, their own bills, and their own fiscal challenges, not because they were indifferent, but because life is capricious. That's why financial stability is one of the strongest pillars of support you can construct. It's not about being affluent, it's about being ready. It's about having a contingency for emergencies, a consistent revenue stream you can depend on, and a clear understanding of how to manage your resources so that you never have to rely on anyone else to get by. If you're in your 60s or beyond, it's time to ask yourself, do I possess sufficient savings to cover unexpected expenditures? Is my retirement income secure? Have I mitigated financial risks that could place me in a vulnerable situation? If the answer is no, the moment to act is now. Learn to budget sagaciously, avoid unnecessary indebtedness, and invest in assets that will provide long-term stability. Because ultimately, your economic security is the one constant that will always be by your side, irrespective of life's challenges. Pillar 2. Your physical well-being. There's one element in life that no amount of affection, wealth, or external assistance can substitute: your health. After 60, your body becomes either your foremost ally or your greatest impediment. The truth is, you can possess all the monetary security in the world, but if your health falters, your freedom vanishes. And while family may care deeply for you, they cannot exercise for you, they cannot consume the proper sustenance for you, and they cannot halt the effects of aging for you. That responsibility rests entirely upon you. Far too many individuals disregard their health, presuming that when the time arrives, someone will be present to care for them. But the reality is, even if your family adores you, they have their own lives. They may lack the time, vitality, or capacity to serve as your caregiver, and depending on others to manage your well-being can leave you feeling powerless. That's why prioritizing your health now is one of the most crucial investments you can make for your future. Consider the narrative of Carl, a 68-year-old man who had always been active in his earlier years, but became sedentary after retirement. He believed he had ample time to regain his fitness, but before he realized it, his energy levels plummeted, his mobility diminished, and simple tasks became arduous. His children visited when able, but they couldn't be there daily to assist him. Eventually, he recognized that if he wished to maintain his autonomy, he had to assume control of his health. Not tomorrow, not next year, but immediately. You don't need to train like an athlete, but modest, consistent endeavors make all the difference. Move your physique daily, consume foods that empower you rather than harm you, and take your medical checkups seriously. If you've been disregarding warning signs, persistent aches, difficulty walking, fluctuations in energy levels, it's time to cease pushing them aside. Your future self will be grateful for every healthful choice you make today, because ultimately, your strongest support system isn't your children, your siblings, or your friends. It's your own ability to remain robust, active, and capable. And the more you prioritize your health now, the less you'll have to rely on anyone else later. If you're still viewing this video and finding these insights valuable, please type 2 below to indicate your presence. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I urge you to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Now let's proceed. Pillar 3. Your social network. One of the greatest missteps individuals make as they age is becoming isolated. Perhaps it occurs gradually. Companions relocate, loved ones pass away, and before you know it, your social sphere has shrunk more than you ever imagined. The issue is, without robust friendships, loneliness creeps in, and loneliness, particularly after 60, is perilous. It doesn't merely impact your emotions. It affects your health, your mental acuity, and even your longevity. You might presume that family will always be present to keep you company. But here's the truth. Your children have their own lives. They have careers, families, and responsibilities that keep them occupied. They may cherish you profoundly, but they cannot be your sole source of companionship. That's why one of the most vital pillars of support is your social network, the people who check in on you, who bring you laughter, who infuse energy into your life. These connections are not a luxury. They are a necessity. Consider someone like Margaret, a 73-year-old woman who always depended on her family for companionship. She had 2 sons, both of whom adored her immensely. But as the years progressed, they became engrossed with work and raising their own children. They still called, but the daily visits and weekend gatherings grew less frequent. Margaret began to feel solitary, awaiting phone calls that didn't always materialize. Then she initiated a change. She started reestablishing ties with old friends, joining a community organization, and even embracing new hobbies that introduced her to new individuals. Suddenly, her life was filled with conversations, shared mirth, and a sense of purpose. She didn't have to await her family to feel connected. She forged that connection herself. Friendships, community groups, and even casual acquaintances offer you something invaluable, a sense of belonging. Whether it's a neighbor with whom you converse, a book club you attend, or a group at your local fitness center, having people in your life beyond your family creates a bedrock of emotional strength. And the more connections you build now, the more support you'll possess in the years to come. So ask yourself, who do you currently have in your life that brings you happiness? If the answer isn't clear, it's time to expand your circle. Because ultimately, a strong social network isn't solely about having company. It's about having individuals who uplift you, remind you of your value, and make every stage of life more abundant. Pillar 4. Your sense of purpose. One of life's most overlooked sources of support isn't another individual. It's your own sense of direction. After 60, many people begin to perceive a transformation. The roles that once imparted meaning to life, being a parent, a professional, a caregiver, start to diminish. Retirement commences, children become independent, and life's tempo decelerates. And without a clear sense of orientation, it's easy to start feeling unnoticed, unneeded, or even disoriented. The truth is, no matter how much your family cares for you, they cannot bestow purpose upon you. That's something you must cultivate for yourself. Having a rationale to awaken each morning, be it a passion, a project, or an objective, keeps your mind sharp, your emotions stable, and your life fulfilling. It's what keeps you engaged with the world rather than merely observing from the sidelines. Consider someone like George, a 70-year-old retired engineer. When he departed the workforce, he was enthusiastic about finally relaxing, but after a few months he began to feel restless, as if something was lacking. His days felt empty. His children visited occasionally, but they had their own lives. That's when he resolved to act. He started volunteering at a local school, instructing young children on construction. Before long, he had a new reason to rise each morning, something that made him feel valued, beneficial, and engaged with life. Purpose doesn't have to derive from employment. It can be anything that makes you feel alive. Acquiring new knowledge, mentoring others, gardening, painting, traveling, or even simply setting personal objectives. It's about undertaking activities that bring you joy and keep you mentally and emotionally active. If you've been feeling as though your best days are behind you, it's time to alter that perspective. Your purpose doesn't vanish as you age. It evolves. And the more you invest in discovering meaning in your daily existence, the less you'll need to rely on others for happiness, because ultimately, the strongest support you can possess isn't someone holding your hand. It's the inner drive that keeps propelling you forward. If you're still viewing this video and finding these insights valuable, please type 4 below to let me know you're present. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I urge you to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed. Pillar 5. Your emotional fortitude. Life possesses a way of testing you, regardless of your age. After 60, challenges don't cease. They simply transform. Friendships wane, loved ones pass away, health issues emerge, and sometimes life feels more solitary than it once did. The truth is, no matter how much external support you have, the most reliable source of strength will always originate from within. Your capacity to adjust, to process feelings, and to discover peace in difficult moments is what keeps you progressing, even when circumstances don't unfold as anticipated. Too many individuals depend on family to serve as their emotional support system, believing that their children, siblings, or extended relatives will always be present to console them. But the reality is, everyone has their own struggles to confront. They might not always possess the time or energy to be the source of emotional stability you require. That's why cultivating emotional resilience is so crucial. It enables you to discover strength within yourself, instead of constantly seeking it from others. Consider the account of Helen, a 75-year-old woman who lost her husband after 40 years of marriage. Initially, she leaned on her children for emotional support, but over time, she realized that while they cared deeply, they had their own families and responsibilities to manage. She understood she couldn't expect them to fill the void she felt inside. Instead of allowing grief to consume her, she focused on strengthening herself emotionally. She joined a support group, began journaling, and practiced daily gratitude. Over time, she uncovered something potent. She didn't need someone else to alleviate her sadness. She possessed the strength to heal on her own. Emotional resilience isn't about suppressing emotions or feigning strength constantly. It's about acknowledging pain, processing it healthily, and developing coping mechanisms that enable you to navigate life's highs and lows with grace. It's about having outlets, whether it's writing, meditation, therapy, or simple self-reflection, that help you discover peace within yourself instead of depending on others to provide it. No matter what life throws your way, the ability to stand firm on your own will always be one of your greatest sources of support. The more you cultivate emotional resilience, the less you will feel reliant on others to make you feel complete. Because ultimately, the person who will always be with you through every hardship and every triumph is you. Pillar 6. Your adaptability. If there is one undeniable truth about life after 60, it is this: nothing remains static. People evolve, circumstances shift, and the things you once relied upon may no longer be as dependable as they once were. The key to flourishing in this stage of life isn't clinging to the past, it's your capacity to adapt. Those who contend most with aging are often the ones who resist change, who grasp too tightly to what was instead of embracing what is. But those who learn to adjust, to remain receptive, and to welcome new possibilities, they find joy and fulfillment regardless of life's offerings. Many individuals presume that once they attain a certain age, they're unchangeable, but that kind of thinking can be perilous. It can hinder you from uncovering new prospects, meeting new people, and acquiring knowledge that could enrich your life. Being flexible isn't just about accepting change. It's about actively seeking ways to grow with it. Observe someone like Frank, a 78-year-old gentleman who had always relied on in-person friendships to remain connected. When many of his companions relocated or passed away, he initially felt adrift. He thought, "I suppose this is just how it is when you get older." But then, instead of resigning himself to solitude, he resolved to adapt. He learned how to use video calls to maintain contact with distant relatives, joined an online discussion group about history, and even formed a few new friendships in the process. Instead of allowing change to defeat him, he permitted himself to evolve with it. The individuals who prosper after 60 aren't necessarily those with the most resources or the strongest support system. They are the ones who refuse to be rigid, who remain inquisitive, and who find ways to adjust, irrespective of life's challenges. If one door closes, they seek another. If a relationship transforms, they discover new avenues to connect. If something is no longer functional, they are willing to attempt something different. Your capacity to adapt is one of the greatest pillars of support you will ever possess. It enables you to navigate life with fortitude, optimism, and self-assurance. And the more you embrace change instead of fearing it, the less you'll feel as though you're losing something, and the more you'll realize that every stage of life offers something novel to gain. If you're still present and finding these insights beneficial, type 6 in the comments below to let me know you're watching. Your support helps me continue creating content that matters to you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I urge you to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue generating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Concluding thoughts. Reaching 60 and beyond marks a phase of life accompanied by both sagacity and trials. And while family may always occupy a cherished place in your heart, the reality is that the most reliable assistance you'll ever possess isn't found in other individuals. It's discovered in the foundation you construct for yourself. Your fiscal stability ensures that you never have to depend on someone else to get by. Your physical well-being dictates whether you can uphold your liberty and autonomy. Your social circle keeps you connected, engaged, and emotionally fulfilled. Your sense of purpose imbues your life with meaning and direction, regardless of your age. Your emotional fortitude fortifies you against life's inevitable hardships, and your adaptability allows you to thrive even when things don't unfold as planned. If you have these 6 pillars firmly in place, you will never feel utterly alone. You will never have to plead for assistance, feel helpless in challenging periods, or await someone else to intercede and rescue you. Because true stability doesn't stem from hoping others will be there for you. It arises from knowing you are already equipped to stand firm regardless of what life brings your way. Thank you for joining us today. We'd be delighted to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one insight you gained today and how you intend to apply it in your life. Your perspectives are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments provides us with immense motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it beneficial, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue producing valuable content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we anticipate seeing you in the next video.